with Chelsea and Blackburn. Indeed, yesterday's results went well for these two sides in that respect, particularly those defeats for Blackburn and Chelsea. And both Derby and Leeds enjoying improved seasons and now wanting something to show for their efforts. Leeds do have a style that's really suited them away from Elland Road. They will appreciate the quality of the Pride Park pitch as well. And Derby have become so comfortable so quickly in their new home. And the Rams have tossed aside most of their visitors. Well, when they met at Leeds in November, they produced one of the most extraordinary games of many a season. Derby County confront Leeds United again. It's live for you all after the break.
Derby County and Leeds United, match commentators Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Well, two forwards who've not yet had a full year in the English game, each with 15 goals so far, spearheading the respective challenges here, Paolo Wanchop and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Two clubs with such similar records this season in the league, each with 13 wins and 6 draws, same points, identical goal difference. Leeds have played one game more, but Derby above them in the table by virtue only of more goals scored. Well, Derby raring to go. They've not played for a fortnight. They went to Spain for a sunshine break on the back of that excellent win over Sheffield Wednesday. It's been very pleasant weather-wise here in the East Midlands today, and perfect conditions for these two sides who have played beyond expectations to this point, although Leeds still trying to come to terms with the disappointment of that FA Cup quarter-final defeat at home to Division 1 Wolves. Either side of that match, they've had Premiership wins over Tottenham and Blackburn Rovers to restore their momentum in the league situation. And here's an early burst showing the pace of Harry Kewell. And Mark Paul, the goalkeeper, had committed himself, but Stimac wasn't going to leave that to chance.
No, you've got to deal with it, Mark, but what great pace from Kewell. That's a little warning for Christian Daly if he needed it. He's given him, what, 3 or 4 yards here, Daly. But look at the way Kewell just powers past him. Time enough to have a little look. Looks for near post. Hasselbank looking for it to be stood far post.
And Paul is able to get himself into the game there with a safe catch from the corner and a turn from Bayano away from Radebe, which may be a man-to-man marking duel. And look at the pass there for Dion Burton, who needs a goal. I think it's fair to say he's just got one with limited opportunity in the Premier League this season.
Very lovely break from Bayano, super skill and then a great ball. Not offside, it's a good decision. The first touch is crucial. I thought he might have cushioned it with his inside of the right foot. There was a set it in front of him. Just got away from him a little.
Burton was in quickly though. Now it's looking to spread the play here to Wanchop.
Just looking at Leeds quickly, man, they have gone in more or less 4-1-4-1 because Radebe's almost a sweeper in front of the back four.
Well, here's Bowyer and Kewell and Hasselbank.
Well, any more on that and he scores. I think it's only the pace that defeats Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Little shake of the head. Then again it's Kewell. Plenty space on that right hand side. Rowett going forward. And I think it's just the pace that beats him. I think he's going for goal here, but he chokes the shot a little, hits into the ground. Maybe a little surprised that it came across Stimac. It was a horrible one for Stimac to deal with.
The chances for both sides in the opening couple of minutes. Always had a bit on the short side. show his versatility again. Just giving Derby a bit of a problem with their two markers being pulled into wider positions. Christian Daly's been out trying to deal with Kewell. Just Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank through the centre for Leeds United. And others joining from deeper positions and making it difficult for those who expect to have men up there to mark to pick up the runners.
I think that what they've got to do is, I think they've got to take responsibility to mark Daly, I think, and Larson marking them. Got to mark people who come forward, because they're left with 3 against 1 if they don't. It does allow Powell and Rowett to really go forward into advanced areas.
Brought back today because of the threat of the pace of one shot. Alfie Haaland, who got 2 of those goals in spectacular fashion against Blackburn. It was a second half show from Leeds on Wednesday night. Every one of the 4 goals superbly struck. There's the newcomer, the Austrian, Martin Heeden. And he is a League of Nations involved in the match today. There's only a few players eligible for England in the starting 22. There's Nigel Martin and Lee Bowyer with Leeds, and with Darryl Powell declaring for Jamaica. There's only Gary Rowett for Derby, and he's exploring a family connection with Scotland. Here he is on the ball. Flag has gone up. We've got players from Estonia, South Africa, Croatia, Costa Rica, Jamaica, Austria, Australia, Denmark, Italy, Suriname, Holland and Norway. Not to mention the Republic of Ireland's representation. Oh yeah. It's a corner.
That's what it's all about for them. It's catch-up play, support play. Play the ball. Bowyer very quickly arrives on the scene. This is a long ball, right to left from Kelly, and that's when Leeds have picked the side for people to catch it up, pick up the second ball. Can't expect Hasselbank to get it down, do it all on his own. He's going to rely on the midfield support him quickly.
Kelly with the corner. I'll be having to deal with the second ball, and still Molinar tries to press them back. Be careful not to give away a free kick against the artful Irania. Well, he's taken the ball from him, Robert Molinar, and it is a free kick. Which Haaland was just thinking about taking quickly. 1 or 2 of the Leeds players were saying sling it in before Derby are ready.
Well, with decent height, so I don't think there's any need to sling it in too early. Leeds have got a threat aerially. It's something to try and exploit, like we talked about.
Taken by Kelly over Ian Hart. Leeds have won 6 away games, and only Manchester United have won more than that. It's Hart with the throw here. Very good record on their travels under George Graham this season. Miscontrolled. It was a useful interception in the first place by Burton, but the ball got away from him. And a chance for Leeds to keep the pressure on the home side. That won't worry Derby too much. They are a counter-attacking team. But they want to be disciplined in their marking. There's been 1 or 2 awkward situations from set plays already. Ian Hart there again, Alfie Haaland. Hasselbank trying to get free. Well, it's gone in, and the goal will be Alfie Haaland's, I think.
Well, they're having a word with the goalkeeper. I'm not surprised, Mark. This bounces 2 yards from goal. Is it Larsson? Is it Haaland that gets the touch? Tough one to call. Haaland's away claiming, but watch where this ball bounces. Look at the goalkeeper. He backs off. Well, does anyone touch it? That's the question. Does it go straight in? Maybe we'll get a look from here. Comes in, somebody must touch it. That's an own goal. Larson. It looks like Larsson's got the final touch on that. Comes off his heel.
Put the ball into the danger area. Alfie Haaland tore away as though it was his goal. But anyway, Derby are 1-0 down, and Jakob Larsson actually made his debut for Derby against Leeds, and yes, scored an own goal in that game. Well, it was a succession of set pieces that put some uncertainty in Derby's mind.
There is good movement, Martin, I tell you, they've put good movement in. They haven't really hit anybody, and again, this one's overhit, because really, Mark Poom should just be coming and taking that. And as it comes off there, the right boot of Larsson. Now that's a vital touch, it's going wide if it doesn't hit him.
Well, Derby with this terrific record at Pride Park, but there has been a dent in it, of course. Aston Villa responsible for that, and here they are looking to hit back with Bayano's volley.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he hit the target from that. He might even have thought of taking this in his chest. You get good support, 2 against 1 at the back post against Kelly. Just gets under it just a touch. He's certainly good enough to deal with that kind of cross and volley.
Hurried on by Kewell, met by Larsson. And of course, in the match at Leeds, it was the home side that was in trouble then. But Leeds found a fantastic road to recover it. And Lee Bowyer settled it late on 4-3. And certainly the way the opening 10 minutes have gone, it's no surprise that we've had a goal, though be it a strange one.
Well, you can never tell what you're going to get when you look at a match beforehand, Mark. But I think there were a lot. I certainly thought this would be entertaining. I thought it would be end-to-end. I thought that both teams would come out positively, look to attack, look to score goals. I think that's the way the game will go. One can never assume that you're going to get goals, of course. And I think we'll get plenty of chances and plenty of goal-mouth excitement.
Carsley. And there's gone up against one chop in the centre. Heaton with the free kick to Molinar. Nelson coping with Hasselbank. A lot of it reading the direction of the clearance though. Who was away with South Africa for the best part of a month recently. Haller with the cross. It's too high for Harry Kewell in the centre. Still match for Bayano. Larsson. Well,
they've got the line
out for Derby.
They've got the line all wrong, Mark. Look to play offside. Steemack and Larsson step up, with Christian Daly furthest away from the ball. The far side was way, way deeper than any of them. That's why Haller was still on.
There's some organising to be done for a natural leader like Igor Steemac. Set the example. Oh, Daly's back pass just looked a little under hit. Horn got there. Burton almost through for Bayano.
That's the insurance though, that's Radeby, that's his job. He got caught, Molinar and Radeby. Molinar didn't give him a call.
Orania. It's got Molinar. Derby fans behind that goal crying handball. One chop. Looking for the tricks against Kelly, who's got speed of recovery and needed it. Harry Kelly captaining Leeds today. They've had several leaders in recent weeks.
Well, this is the one, there's a lot of shout, big shout behind the goal as he drives this in. I mean, it might well have hit the hand, it probably did, but no intent there, not from that range.
Oh. Well, it was a glancing touch by Bayano.
There's the advantage of having someone on the post yet again. Because Gary Kelly, who just managed somehow to scramble it clear.
Molinar. Carol Powell, who's been given the left-sided job in preference to namesake Chris Powell. Carsley losing out. Leeds breaking through Kewell and Hasselbank. And now Kelly. Haller trying to stay onside. He's done that. Deflection on the cross, and Bowyer managed to capitalise on that.
Steamouts having a whack at the linesman, Martin. He's really furious with him, but what he doesn't know is, yet again, it's behind him the problem is. The far side, look at them. You can see they're quite clear. They'll come out late. Now Steamouts, to him everyone looks offside when he looks round. But when the ball's played, it's the far side yet again, coming out late. It keeps them on the near side.
With a free header. Leeds have had the edge on Derby in recent times. With the 4-3 thriller in November, a couple of draws between the two last season. The season before, when Derby were in Division 1, they were knocked out of both domestic competitions by Leeds United. George Graham changing his team here, but not changing the policy. That's a fantastic way to start the game in terms of the action areas for the visiting team. It's led to a moment of real discomfort for Jakob Laursen. Daly. Rowett's throw. Daly. Baiano, but rather be picking up Baiano in that sort of position where the Italian has been such a major influence for Derby County.
He's never been shy, George Graham, though, to try and snuff out a real potential threat who plays in awkward areas. He's been at Mazzola and people like that. I'm no surprise to say, no, I don't think he's marking him man for man. What he's saying to Radaby, if he drops deep, then it's your responsibility.
Here's Darryl Park. That's a good search, and he was being nibbled at by Lee Bowyer. The sort of ambition that Derby have got to show plenty, having conceded the first goal of the game. Baiano. One chop. Molinar virtually threw himself into the challenge. Derby players appealing for Stephen Lodge to give a free kick then.
I thought he got the ball by luck more than good judgment, I have to say, Molinar.
He's been given the nod over David Weatherall today. David Hopkins led the side. David Weatherall has done Nigel Martin as captain in the quarter-final against Wolves. Good free kick taken by Steamouts. Heeden twice in the right place in the Leeds back line. Bowley muscling in, and as we pointed out at the start, these are teams who've had a lot of yellow cards between them this season. This is Iranio going for the return fast ball, comes for one shot, and quick feet from Martin. The effort from one shot almost suggesting it was going to loop over the England goalkeeper.
First real involvement from Iranio has been quiet the opening 18 minutes. Stefano Iranio hasn't really been able to get into the game. Got into it there in a stirring tackle that got everyone up at the ground and then involved with one shot.
Here is one shot. Heaton's clearance, it's his first away game incidentally, after his move from Rapid Vienna. Well, it got beyond Kelly then and was brought down.
Well, I'll be thankful that we've got Stephen Lloyd, because he's one of the referees that doesn't just rush his hand into his pocket very quickly. Gives players the benefit of the doubt early in the game.
Looking for one chop in the air. Maybe back by Carsley. Burton turned quickly. And a cross with customary tenacity was right a bit. Moranio. Now Rowett. Better spell this from Derby. One chop. Leeds alive to the slickness of Moranio's turn. Carsley. One chop trying to get in behind Leeds here. No, a flag from the far side suggests that the ball had gone out of play. Although there was just a moment when everyone froze. Cleared by Kewell.
They've done all right though, Derby, Mark. They managed to keep the ball, they managed to keep the pressure.
Bayana. Lowson. Firing it at Burton, but Heaton bundled into the back of it. Martin Heaton trained for 5 days with Liverpool. They were anxious to prolong their interest in him, but they wanted to see him in action when the Austrian season started again after the midwinter break. But George Graham took a chance. He stepped in and signed Martin Heaton. Carsley. One shot. Trying to get it down to Bayano.
Good pressure. You see Ryder being real marked. He's right back in amongst the back four at times like this. Now when they're throwing it in, he's off. Where's Bayano?
Daly. And one shot, run it against Molinar. That'll be a corner.
Now this is good pressure. It's a decent ball in. Gives one shot a chance to show his strength in the air. A little unlucky. Could have dropped the button quite easily.
Rowett with the corner. Come back to Gary Rowett again. Dion Burton calling for a deep ball. That's what Rowett's looking for. But this is where Leeds are so suited, with Kewell, Ian Hart supporting him. Hasselbank trying to take an angle through the centre. And they've got a runner here, it's Gunnar Haller. There's the more cries for offside.
Yeah, the cries were wrong again though, Martin. Darryl Powell again. It's amazing how many times so far that Derby have had players on the opposite side of the ball playing people onside.
Haller. Kewell. Here's Haaland. That's a decent try.
Well, they're not happy with the decisions. They think again that there was an offside just earlier. It wasn't, and that kept the pressure on Leeds. This is a decent hit. It's an awkward angle, but he gets power. I don't think it was ever going in, but it was enough just to make Mark Poon deal with it.
One chop heads away. Bayano with a real tussle there with Gunnar Haller. Stephen Lodge has got a match here he's got to keep a close eye on. Halfway through the first half. Rowett coming in. Beaten to it by Ian Hart, who's getting a run at last in the Leeds side under George Graham. It was a time where it was easier for him to get a game for the Republic of Ireland than it was for his club. Steamax, everything in front of him. Larson. That'll be right alongside Baiano here, and Larson looking for Darryl Powell.
That was well played by Leeds. Let the three at the back move it across the pitch, and then suddenly Haller sprang and really put Larson under pressure.
Wrapped. But done well. Baiano and Iranio, at times it seems telepathy between those two.
Little unlucky. He looked for his mate Iranio, but had he taken it himself, just dragged it and used Iranio's run, he might well have been in space himself.
Haller supporting Kewell. Hasselbank. And Larson and Iranio both coming out of that incident just limping a little, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, the Leeds player, no problems at all. Away by Radebe. Foul by Hasselbank, free kick quickly taken by Derby. Kewell. Boyer got in front of Iranio and got the free kick really through that. Haller.
Needed a shout, needed a message on the ball really. Plenty of time to hold that turn himself, couldn't Haller.
It's been a good start to the game in this splendid setting at Pride Park. Those who followed Derby down the years probably still pinching themselves to believe that this is a reality. Club that had so many financial problems in the 80s. Living at the moment in the lap of luxury, and long may it continue, they will hope. Back in the 70s, of course, Derby and Leeds, well, that was often the game that decided the championship. Baiano. Burton showing good strength here. Gibson is very appreciative of the team effort that Burton puts into the collective setup. He's not a goal-getter really in the class of Dean Sturridge, who he's standing in for today. Unless you look at, of course, at his World Cup record with Jamaica.
Well, again, he does well. He works the position, just chokes it a little. Didn't quite hit it cleanly enough.
Free kick given against Bowyer. Towards Burton, and he's got there. Now where's that going to drop onto the top of the net, and unlucky for Dion Burton.
Well, it's a bit like Mark Overmars yesterday morning. I mean, the one most likely in the white of Derby at the moment to score is Burton. That's his third. Not a great chance, makes it himself there by just not giving it up. But he's been the one player who's threatened in a Derby shirt so far. Not quite happening for him.
Derby have averaged 2 goals a game here, and have shut out a lot of their opponents, but not Leeds. But only Manchester United have managed 2 goals against them on this ground. Leeds have got plenty of time still to emulate that and maybe do even better. Bowyer, well reached by Carsley, headed away by Heaton. On from Kewell. Nelson getting a foot in for Derby. Good bounce for Kelly, but he dealt with it well enough. It's behind. Ian Hart by Radebe. Including today, 5 at home, 5 away for Derby. Only 3 more at Ellen Road for Leeds, 6 away. That includes a visit to Old Trafford scheduled for the penultimate weekend of the Premiership season. The flag is up here. Stephen Lodge now acknowledging it. Phil Dowd, the assistant on this near side. One chop. Avoiding the lunging challenge from the Costa Rican. Right a bit. He was late back from that duty with South Africa in the African Nations Cup. It all seemed to have been sorted out by George Graham. And he pretty quickly got him back in the team. That's how important Lucas Radebe is to Leeds United. Back. Running back into the tackle of Larson, and Rania almost giving it to Bowyer. Rout. Bayano. 3 ahead of him for Derby. Gary Rout is one of those. Bayano again. Where he thought, well, you saw where he thought Rout was going to be. Rout was about 25 yards away from that, a bit concerned about getting back to his proper side of the pitch.
Oh, I've got a problem here. I think Morano's just gone off, Martin. I've got a problem with him. Just walked down the tunnel, that doesn't look good.
Kelly. Haller. Able to get in the cross. Bowyer, who's got an eye for goal from midfield and connected with that pretty well. It came at not an easy height. And Derby down to 10 men. Hart with the throw. Form came rather unwisely. Blocked away by Stiemax. Kelly, but the flag has gone up. So Jim Smith and Steve McLaren there. Not just with the change to deal with, and Jonathan Hunt a likely candidate in that respect. But also, Andy, the way Leeds has set out their stall today has rather made it difficult for Derby to impose their brand of football on the match.
Yeah, he's been very clever, George Graham. He has set out a very, well, he's usually sophisticated, but it is a very clever system. I wondered about the full-backs going forward in a back four and leaving them 3v3. Anytime a full-back's been forward and that man there's just dropped in and filled in, Lucas Radebe. So they've never been caught 3v3. They've always had the 4 defenders back in place.
Jim Smith down in the technical area in front of the dugout is looking which way and that to try and make sure Jonathan Hunt is ready to come on. And with the greatest respect to the substitute, that's a big disappointment for Derby. Aranio has been a central figure in the progress the club has made this season, and an indication of the ambition to get a player who had 7 years with AC Milan. Lawson. Leeds have somewhat subdued the home crowd to this point. But here's a chance for Derby to put in a decent free kick. One chop's already won 1 or 2 headers encouragingly. Other now having a good look at him. Now it takes it. Stimac coming up late. It's a looping header towards the far post, and Nigel Martin having to fight for the right to knock it away.
Did well the goalkeeper. He knew he was going to be under pressure. One shot was looking for anything here, just dropping. Arrives late, Stimac. Can't score. He's just helping it on. Well, that's decent goalkeeping. Didn't want to catch that, risk dropping it.
And it's dropped for one shot. After Christian Daly had made the first challenge for the ball, it had passed over the defender.
There's an inquest going on down there. Molnar saying how it was Martin Stimac. You can see he just leaves him actually. He doesn't really get to him. Maybe just did enough. Molnar just comes up a little high. Could have controlled it a little better. Might have kept it down.
Over 10 minutes to go to half-time. Nelson's ball being pursued by Darryl Powell. Using the strength in his frame to shepherd the ball behind. Well, coming up for you on Sky Sports, the quarter-final replay from Upton Park, West Ham and Arsenal. Arsenal with maybe thoughts now of a double. And another big night of boxing. On Saturday, March the 28th, Lennox Lewis defends his heavyweight championship against Shannon Briggs. That's a special event on Sky Box Office. For more information, call 0990 800 888. Hasselbank. 2-0 tucked away by Gunnar Haller. It's a typical Leeds break. Derby hang their heads and look around to apportion the blame, but it's Derby County 0, Leeds United 2.
Well, great. They struggled with pace. Kuhl's harmed them, and look at here, the way the pace of Hasselbank gets him in, and now he's going to wait. Now, can he pick out the ball? This is a superb pass, and look at that, spoilt for choice. Absolutely spoilt for choice. Two players coming in, well, basically unmarked. When they miss the defender out, well, how do you want that? Haaland thinks, well, I've lost a chance, but Gunnar Haller just comes in, doesn't strike it brilliantly, but it's effective enough, guided across the goalkeeper into the corner.
Well, such similarities here to what happened at Ellen Road, when it was Derby playing away who roared into a 3-goal lead and came back to the East Midlands empty-handed. At least they've got an example to follow. Lawson. Daly. Burt. Now Hunt. But now it's crossed. Derby needs something, and soon. 2-0 down, and Stefano Aranio off with a hamstring problem.
It was a lovely break. The problem that you've got, if you play against a team who are just playing support players, Mark, they need to be tracked, and they just weren't. Well, certainly one of them might have been tracked, but certainly no one's come back with Haller. They've allowed him to come in, unmarked, unopposed, guides it in.
Well, the two Norwegians almost battling with each other for the right to be the goal scorer. But Alfie Haaland recognised in the end that Gunnar Haller was in the better position, really coming on to the cross, and he rolled it beyond Mark Paul, and Derby, well, their troubles get deeper and deeper. Leeds have had the help of Rod Wallace, who scored in all 6 of them, who's suspended today. They may not have Wallace next season, but they're showing they can get the same sort of performance without them. And now Stephen Lodge, who is a referee who reaches for the old card more reluctantly than some, is going to show it to Lucas Radebe.
He's suggesting here that the foot was off the ground and he didn't play the ball. In actual fact, he played the ball quite cleanly, quite fairly. Ball bouncing, plays it in, they do get caught. I think it was one of those, both are looking at half an eye on each other and half an eye on the ball.
It's a costly card for the South African. It's 8th booking of the season, and that will mean a 2-match ban starting 2 weeks today. So that's one blot on the afternoon for George Graham, but it's going pretty well so far for the Leeds manager. It's D-Max. Leeds have emulated Manchester United by scoring 2 goals at Pride Park. Of course, United came back from 2-0 down to get a 2-2 draw here back in the autumn. Just flicked out off Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, who's maybe saying something to the effect that he was being nudged. Daly. I suppose one downside for Derby this season, they've had a very settled way of playing, Andy, and the teams now are doing their homework. You know what to expect from Jim Smith's side, the ability to use the front three to very clever effect, often prompted by Iranio. Well, that problem's gone away for Leeds.
I just think you can never write them off, Martin. They're so unpredictable at times. They do take a chance. I've said it all season. Defensively, they do ride their luck. And teams make it difficult for them to break them down, and it can be difficult. The Leeds have given a classic performance against them. They've been very solid at the back, defended deep and with numbers. And then when they've broken, I'll tell you what, people at Haaland, Kuhl and Haaland, Boyer haven't half got great support forward to join Hasselbank.
Looking dangerous again with Kuhl. Haller going in. It's Haaland's got a chance here. And Boyer. And they have scored 3 times here in 41 minutes, Leeds United. And the support men were there in strength again.
Well, 3 of them I mentioned get involved in the goal. Unbelievable, isn't it? They've just found it so hard to cope with this. Kuhl's pace has caused them a problem all day. Look at the amount of space Haaland gets here, Mark. No one near him. And they get a little bit of luck here, but Boyer again, support play, first to arrive, first to react to the little ball that drops, and that's punishing. That is punishing. And even Haaland's involved, isn't he?
You have to take your hat off to George Graham and the sort of style that he's asked Leeds to play today. I mean, it was only a whisker away from being Haaland's goal, the first one. Haller got the second, Bowyer the third. All coming from behind Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, who's being asked to spearhead it all and make those runs unselfishly. And here we are, exactly in the situation that the first game threw up. The away team lead by 3 goals to 0, a rapid start. And Derby do to Leeds what Leeds did to them.
To be fair to Leeds, they got it back to 3-2 by half-time, didn't they, Martin? And that gave them a little chance second half. At the moment, you just don't know where the goal's coming from Derby. You know, balls like this, all right, it's a fighting ball, it's a percentage ball. And Molina and Eden have coped quite well with that. Ably supported by Rugby, I have to say. Those 3 have been a real cornerstone for the others to go forward.
Well, it's a flexibility to Leeds' play that Derby just haven't been able to answer. They haven't been able to sort it out as the game has developed. The warning signs were there early on. Derby were pressed back. Jim Smith's seen that happen to his team before without such devastating effect here, because they counter-attacked so well at home. But I'm Andy and I said right at the beginning, it's been an extraordinary weekend in the FA Darling Premiership, and another chapter here. Radovic dealing with Darryl Powell's cross into the danger area.
Great defending. I'll tell you what, if he's not in there, Radovic, then Paolo Wanchope's tapping it in from 5 yards.
Just give Derby something to grasp onto if they could get one goal here before half-time. They'll have another corner.
There's almost a stunned silence apart from the Leeds supporters in that pocket in the corner around here thinking, what's going on? This shouldn't happen at Pride Park. 3-0 down.
Of course, the only game that they lost was to a last-minute winner, Aston Villa. That's in the league. He gets his head to it. Hasselback shrugs Carsley away, but the credit of the Derby midfield man, he fought back well. That's a decent try by Christian Daly. Wanchope jumping, and Molinar knocked effectively away by Ian Hart. And Leeds can get their shape back. One shot going well to work the position for the cross when he seems to be penned into a tight corner. The flag had gone up. Wanchope trying to get in behind Leeds. The cry, Super Leeds, and it's not misplaced, is it? They've had a tremendous first half. You've seen something here that's never happened before at Pride Park. Derby County have conceded 3 goals, and Jakob Larsson, the unfortunate figure here, as Alfie Haaland went in, and Leeds built quickly on that. Gunnar Haller tucking away the second, and a third for Lee Bowyer following in on the edge of the penalty area. So far it's been a tactical triumph for George Graham. Derby 0, Leeds 3 at the break.
We kick off a new season of World Superbikes next Saturday. Britain's Carl Fogarty is back with the new Ducati team, hoping to go one better than last year and reclaim the World Championship that he won in '95. That's live from Phillip Island, Australia, round 1 of the World Superbikes Championship next Saturday from midnight on Sky Sports 1. Right now it's Derby and Leeds on a Super Sunday here on Sky Sports 3 this weekend. If you've just joined us, it's Derby County 0, Leeds United 3. It's a long shot, but it's worth remembering that Derby were 3 up at Elland Road earlier in the season, and Leeds came storming back to win 4-3. Just wonder, Dean Sturridge, if that may have been part of the conversation at half-time.
Definitely, we're confident now. We're going to come out this second half and we're going to score 4 goals.
Well, why not? Why not?
They did it to us. So.
Although, if that's going to happen, Colin...
I think the big difference there was it was 3-2 at half-time. It's 3-0 here, you know, and that's a mountain to climb. But if they can get an early goal, who knows, in football... the stranger things happen, you know, but it's going to be a very difficult test.
Leeds, we've seen both sides today of Leeds United, haven't we? Defending very well, springing and scoring when given the opportunity.
They've had that resilience, that resolve, and they look a complete outfit today.
When you talked about Hasselback before the game, I think he's been very instrumental. You know, Leeds have played, he hasn't scored today, but he's brought well, been very unselfish for the team, and he's shown how to play as a striker.
Looking at Lee Bowyer there, who of course got the winner at Elland Road on the score sheet again here today. 3-0 Leeds United as we restart the second half with Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
And also Richard with Chris Powell, who's on for Gary Rowett. If it stays this way, Leeds would not only go above Derby County, but they would also go above Blackburn Rovers on goal difference. When you think of what was being suggested for Blackburn this season, Leeds would be very proud to be in that position. Well, at least Derby have had a chance to sit down and discuss the problems which are plentiful that Leeds posed them by changing their strategy. Jim Smith was up watching the match at Holland Road last Wednesday, and Leeds got 4 in the second half there, playing a different way. 3 in the first half here, so they're really on a roll. But here's Hunt, and here's one shot. No stop, Martin, it bounced up. Derby want a penalty for handball, they're not going to get it. But what an important save.
Glorious chance, Martin, that was, for one shot. Anything off the ground and I think he scores.
Well, we showed examples from previous games how Wanchop had got in other matches and just lifted the ball over an advancing goalkeeper.
Well, twice right before the game started we showed goals he scored against Coventry and against Sheffield Wednesday, and I just thought it's a lovely little run. He steps out and I thought, go on, just lift it, keep us going to ground. It needed a little bit of air. Ball broke back, difficult to say whether it struck the arm. Well, they've certainly been positive at half-time, Jim Smith. He had to be at 3-0 down. Dal Powell into the centre midfield, Chris Powell wide on the left and really trying to push forward. I think at times they're just going to leave Stimac and Larsson against Hasselbank. They say to Daly, you watch Kuhl, and I think everyone else will be given a chance to go forward. But it's the runners they have to watch.
They're the ones, and that's Lebo, you're finding Kuhl. That's another ball, and Leeds feeling they should have a corner, and they're going to get one in the end.
He took his time, the referee. I don't know whether the linesman helped him there, whether he had a better view, but certainly Stephen Lodge went away from the penalty area indicating goal kick. The linesman might have had a better view of that. So he whips it in very quickly. Boyer goes near post. It did come off him. I think they get it right. It came off Carsley, but only faintly.
Form in trouble here. Holland. And well, sorry, there was another deflection there.
Very unsure, Mark Boone. Normally he's a very confident goalkeeper. This, I've been impressed with him this season. That's a bread and butter catch that he doesn't really get, but well, you can see that's quite clearly a corner.
Wanchop, they've got to be principal figures for Derby in the second half if there's going to be any chance of disturbing the situation that Leeds have thoroughly deserved to put themselves in. Yes, Mark Thorne had an uncertain match at Manchester United recently, and maybe just a little bit of the confidence has gone from his game, and the nature of the opening goal here wouldn't have helped. For Iran. Carsley pressured by Bowyer, but that was just a little bit on the late side by Lee Bowyer as Leeds look to try and continue this very impressive work rate from the midfield men. There's a plentiful supply of them. Here's Darryl Powell and Stimac. Chris Powell pushing on down the left, and Hunt on the right, and Wanchop is there through the centre looking to feed it back to Stimac, so he's had to go and get it for himself. Bayana coming across, Ian Hart is the Leeds man, who sees it off for a corner.
I think the quick one would rather be Mark. It did come back off him. And the thing is, does he move his arm? Is there intent here as it strikes out? And, I think it's a tough one.
That's a poor cross by Hunt. What a time that would have been if it had gone Derby's way right at the start of the second half. They could have really got the bit between their teeth. They might still do if they can force Leeds back here. Bayana, Hunt. Claim again for handball against Ian Hart this time. They're only going to get a corner.
Yeah, it's just where the hands are. I think again, they go up. Obviously, it depends how close they are. I think when your hand goes up above shoulder height and you stop a cross coming in, I think you're risking giving a penalty away.
Holland defending at the near post, Hunt the chance to play it back in again. Leeds throw.
And the way this is set up at the moment, we're either going to get 3-3 or it's going to be 5-0 to Leeds. I mean, it's just... Derby are just committing men forward. We're going to get back in it or we're going to lose it badly.
Well, it is making for an enthralling spectacle. Just to remind you of the context and the importance for Derby, particularly as the home side going into the game, for a chance to get the edge on one of their rivals for a European place. It's certainly not going according to plan thus far. Fuel. Carson. Chased by Bowyer. He really pulls out of those situations when a tackle is asked for. Hunt looking for one shot. Molinar is the defender and he's just being tucked on the turn.
That's a decent ball though for them at the moment. What they've managed to do is get Jonathan Hunt on this right hand side, just attracting Hart forward, Martin, and then there's a big gap in behind. That was where one chop got in for his chance, and that ball had a little more angle on it. It would have given him a better chance of getting it.
Headed by Heaton. So Kazi trying to get to grips with Bowyer, Darryl Powell and Haaland, and Chris Powell and Haller. But Hasselbank, well, that'll get booking. Stimac made sure that if the ball got past, Hasselbank wasn't going to follow it.
Well, pace has troubled him. Not only the runners mark, but pace, Secure and Hasselbank just there, and then he nicks this one away. I mean, that's a booking. Very simple.
And that is another suspension situation. It's one game that Stimac will miss, reaching 5 caution mark this late in the season. Paul Nocta looking really confident then. He started to come, the ball was deep beyond him. Chris Powell can't get it away. Stimac with a header. And ball given against Burton. And the crowd reacting because they feel that if those are going to be given 1 or 2 at the other end.
Certainly looked like it was high up in his chest, close to the top of the arm, but referee's a lot closer than you and I.
Haller. Oh, he struck the outside of the post.
What a strike zone.
So close to being 4-0 to Leeds.
Not his strongest side, but they just gave him too much time, too much space. Just drifts in, not really under challenge, doesn't really beat anyone. No one puts him under pressure quick enough. That's a great effort. You get a great view of it from here. Sets it wide to Larson. It's trying to come back for Haller. Oh, so close.
Here's Molinar. Look at the confidence of Leeds now. Looking for the runner through the centre, who is Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, who's still doing a good job for the team and letting the others get the goal-getting glory today. A lot of been filling in because Molinar is still on his way back after that adventurous surge. Kelly. Unfair challenge, I think, by Haller in the first place. Derby's free kick. 10 minutes of the second half, very much in the same vein as the first. Bayano looking for one shot. Haaland this time. Penalised. David. Here's Hunt. Bayano going to the centre. Burton coming to challenge the goalkeeper. Nigel Martin has had some uncertain moments in recent games. We saw one, of course, that was very costly up at St James's Park when Leeds were heading for another away win. Bowyer from Haller, now Hasselbank. Haller having a look to see what was on the right of him, where there was nothing.
Well, I think Kelly was on his way. He was about to just track into that space. I'm just surprised he didn't shift it to his right. He had time.
Gunnar Haller, in a way, a typical George Graham signing, a player who gives 100% week in, week out. You know what you're going to get from him and playing a variety of positions. Not the flashiest of manipulators of the football, maybe, but a tremendous professional. And particularly good value. It's always been something that George has been concerned about. 400,000, December '96, had 6 years at Oldham. With what sort of contact he made on Alfie Haaland in that position. Now he's got to try and scrape it away with his weaker right foot. Darryl Powell there to help out. And it's launched towards one chop. Pretty straightforward for Molinar. Shrewdly making an angle. He hasn't ventured forward too often. He hasn't had to. There've been plenty willing to make those sort of runs. Now he's seen the movement of Hasselbank a bit quicker than Jakob Larsson saw it, and Hasselbank probably been a bit frustrated that others have been getting into the scoring positions, and that's typical of him.
Great power in the shot, wasn't it?
Not frightened of the angle either, was he?
No, he was not. He'll probably think, as you say, I've worked hard all day. I've just been getting support play. The others have been getting all the chances. The run was an excellent one.
Stevens. He's still very quick to the ball. No sign of backsliding in these important minutes at the start of the second half. Just that moment right at the beginning of the half, and Nigel Martin was called upon to make a most significant save from Paolo Wanchop. Hart. Kewell leads on the move again. Pace and poise, and Harry Kewell is in the clear. 4 for Leeds.
What a finish. What a cool, calculated, clinical finish. Again, Jonathan Hunt, he's gone with him and then stops. And you can't do that because Christian Daly on the near side is deeper than him. Just watch Hunt. He's tracking the run. Suddenly he stops. You can't do that at this level. You just don't know what's behind you. Daly's come round in the cover, but what about the finish when he's in there? It wasn't, I'll kick it on the right, I'll shift it to my left, I'm stronger there, I'll have a little look, and I'll slide it under you, and that's game, set and match.
Derby County in disarray at Pride Park. Leeds United have put 4 goals past them. And if it carries on like this, you wonder how many more they're going to end up with here. And it emphasises again what a chance that was for Wanchop to turn it back some way towards Derby right at the start of the second half. Well, when you've been in management as long as Jim Smith has, you've seen most things, but this can't have happened too often to a team of his.
There's nothing you can do, Mark. Nothing Jim Smith can do now. He's made his change at half-time. Even changes he might make now are going to have very little impact. It's a case of he's got to just trust his players to have that little bit of professional pride, to dig in, make sure they don't concede anymore. And as I've always said, if you're getting beaten badly at half-time, make sure you win the second half at least. You finish the game on a little bit of a high, even if you've lost it.
Kelly landed heavily. Next up on Sky Sports football-wise, West Ham against Arsenal live, FA Cup quarter-final replay Tuesday, Sky Sports 2, 7:30. And another chance to remind you of this big night of boxing, Saturday, March the 28th. Lennox Lewis defending his heavyweight championship against Shannon Briggs. It's a special event on Sky Box Office. And for more information, call 0990 800 888. Ayano with the free kick. Ayano got his head to it. Back by Daly. And the flag has gone up. Wanchop has put the ball in the net. And Derby hoping to just get one step on the ladder that might lead to, well, some respectability. Maybe recoveries beyond them, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, the ball's just helped straight back in. Well, I tell you, Wanchop, I'm not so sure he's offside here. I think it's Carver coming back out, the other player, Burton, the other player coming out. I'm not so sure Wanchop was a one offside.
But when the touch was from Darryl Powell, Wanchop was offside then, and he was certainly ahead of Darryl Powell, and he put the ball in the net. So flag didn't go up straight away. Hunt. Now Bowyer. Maybe a little wrap across the knuckles for Leeds, that they must sustain their level of play, which has been, well, startling really. Radaby. Kewell, one of the scorers. Hart. Darryl Powell's forward ball. Burton chasing. Kelly having to cope with the bounce and with the arrival of Wanchop as well. And it led to Derby getting the ball back, Burton having the shot.
He was never threatening. He actually dealt with the bounce pretty well, Gary Kelly. And that's never a great chance. You see what he's trying to do, he's just trying to arc it over the goalkeeper. He was always back, always got back on his line.
Kewell just talking to David O'Leary there on the sidelines, and the word we're getting is that Kewell's got a groin problem, although there's not much sign of it here.
That'll be a booking, Martin. Yeah. It's unfortunate in respect to Christian Daly. The referee was right behind him. He got a hold of Kewell shut with dragging him back. The referee's anywhere else on the pitch, he maybe doesn't see it. He was right behind the Derby defender. Yellow card.
This is the sort of position where Gary Kelly took the first fateful free kick for Derby. Fateful for Derby, free kick for Leeds, if you see what I mean. Kewell elusive again. There's Daly having to deal with it in front of his own goal.
That's a great ball. The ball for that deserves someone going across the face of the goalkeeper, attacking the front post. No one really gets across and attacks the front post. I think someone should be coming across in between Daly and Stimac there to meet that. It's a goal for nothing if you do.
Well, there have been spells in this season where Leeds have been less than impressive, but you think they got 4 goals now twice against Derby County. They got 4 that we brought you live on Sky Sports back in September at Blackburn. Here they are looking for number 5, but Pawn makes a more confident catch this time, clears quickly. Baiano in pursuit, and in pursuit of him is Lucas Radovic. And Derby got to try and catch up the Italian here. Still Baiano.
Radovic read it beautiful. Read the little flick, the back heel.
Long from Daly. Burton. Half a chance there as the midfield men were trying to support for Derby the way that they've been doing so well for Leeds. Daly opted to let that go, but Hasselbank was there to say thank you very much if he did. Gunnar Haller was still down on his haunches, drawing breath, but he's got himself going again. It's pretty easy to do that when you're in a side leading 4-0. And here he is challenging Chris Powell. But winning it against Haller. One shot trying to make a run here, but Burton couldn't quite make the sort of pass that might have unhinged Leeds then. Molinar. Put away by Kelly. On from Kewell. This is Hasselbank. Kewell. Was entitled to have a swing at it.
Oh, he had to be hit. No doubt. 4-0 up. I'm surprised that Hasselbank passed it, Mark. That was the only surprise in that move. I thought he'd go and commit the defender here, 1v1 against Larson, go on, take him on and hit. Surprised as he opted to pass.
Steemax, Burton. Leeds fans might remember a 5-0 away win at Swindon, coming on for 4 years ago. At the time of the season, I think where Swindon's fate was pretty much sealed. And here we are, 2 teams eyeing the European challenge, wanting to push up the table, certainly within reach of the UEFA Cup qualification. And who would have expected such a vast gulf between them? And you certainly look at the key moments in the match that have made George Graham happy. The nature of the early goal, the fact that Iranio then disappeared from the fray, big loss for Derby that. And just to mention again that excellent save by Martin at the start of the second half, and it was still 3-0. Stephen Lodge is entitled to take his time. Leeds maybe, I don't know whether they were entitled to take the free kick. Yes, the referee delayed in giving the decision. Leeds certainly didn't delay in getting the game going again, and it's led to a corner.
Yeah, I thought that was good refereeing, Mark. They wanted to give Lee Boy as much advantage, if there was going to be any, as possible.
Their appetite not yet satisfied.
Oh, why not? Enjoy days like this if you're a footballer, man, away from home. You've got to enjoy them. They might be thinking of making a change. I think Kewell's just had a word with David O'Leary. I think if he's got a problem, then it's a great chance to take people off. I mean, Molinar attacks it, would be disappointed didn't get a header. But I think Kewell might be just saying to him, well, come on then, son, you've done your job today.
Baiano trying to get behind Radovic. He's done that. Kewell is coming off, and it's a chance to introduce some of you to one of the very promising young players at Leeds United. If you watched the FA Youth Cup final on Sky Sports last season, you'd have seen the influence that Stephen McPhail had on the Leeds youth team, which won that tournament. He's a left-sided midfield player with a touch of the Liam Brady's about him. Not just that he's spent a good part of his life in the Republic of Ireland and has represented them at youth level. There's another youngster on the bench, Lee Matthews, who scored in that final, hoping to get a chance of some action here. And a couple of outings already as a substitute on the senior side. I think George Graham initially was a bit sceptical about bringing on the young players because he knew he had an immediate job to do last season and needed senior men, but the way this season has gone, able to use them, and Kuhl, the best example of that. It wasn't allowed a shout for handball. Look at this, it's Hasselbank. Form, beaten again.
Oh, what a ball, son, what an introduction.
Well, I said watch out for him.
Well, Hasselbank actually told him, McPhail actually wanted it would come short first. Hasselbank said, no, play it over the top, there's the arm going up. And my goodness, did he play it over the top. He kills him stone dead. And Hasselbank has his reward. A lot of hard work on his own today. And this must have been absolutely wonderful for him. Running through on goal, only the keeper to beat. 4-0 up, no pressure. Slot it away.
So Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank gets in on the act. And I wonder how quickly that was transferred from one end to the other. Here comes Hunt. To tug on McPhail there by Hunt. Daly. That's handball in the penalty area, but by a Derby player, Lee Carsley. Some of the Derby fans might feel they've had enough of watching this. They've had so much entertainment at Pride Park this season in the splendid surroundings, but this tests the loyalty on this particular day.
Listen, Mark, they've had a great season this season at home. Kind of no arguments. This happens to the best of teams. I mean, they might just. I think Jim Smith will feel he's been mugged today. I mean, that's the feeling he'll have. Would not have expected this kind of scoreline. And it's just one of those days. I think you'll put it to bed, get it out of the way, try and erase it from the players' memories as quickly as possible. But there are days that happen. I mean, the best teams have been beaten 5 at times. You just have to forget it and get on.
Well, Stephen McPhail certainly catching the mood straight away of the match with the way that he sent Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank into the clear for yet another swift, deadly Leeds raid, and Mark Palm left totally exposed yet again.
Well, I said it'll be in the second half. This is set up to be 3-3 or 5-0. We've got 5. We've still got 16 minutes to go.
Goes one chop. And those defenders will want their clean sheet to go with it all. And Martin Heaton settling very quickly into life in a new country. Carsley. One chop. Hunt just spends away from Carsley. Well, I don't envy you in your choice for man of the match. Days like this, Andy Gray's delighted that it is a viewer's selection. 0891 11 11 01.
Tell you what, George Graham might have a shout and a few votes the way he set out this side.
He's just shaking his head there, Andy, saying no.
No, if he was going to get man of the match, he'd take it. Don't you worry about that, Mark.
they've had great matches, these two clubs, down the years, but one couldn't recall too many when the gulf has been as wide as this on the scoreline. Stimac. Hung up by Bowyer. Fail stopped though by Stimac this time. One shot. Balked by Molinar. The arm has gone up for an indirect free kick in the Leeds penalty area. Obstruction.
I think he wins this. I don't think he's ever going to get the ball when he goes past Molinar. He's just trying to jink in. It's away, well away from him. It's obstruction. It's no more than that. So the ball's got to be shifted before a strike can be made.
And Darryl Powell is there. Jonathan Hunt is there. Nigel Martin. Sometimes goalkeepers come out in front of the defensive line. It's probably just a bit far out for that. Martin behind the wall. What sort of side he might get of it? Well, who knows? It's Hunt who hits it. The wall does its job. It wasn't hit with the real meat by Jonathan Hunt. Cross back by Laursen. Burton getting ahead of the flag's gone up again. Baiano misses his kick. In any case, it's more disappointment for Derby. Well, he'd not been on the pitch a minute, Stephen McPhail, when he got the ball. And all right, you say Jimmy Boyd Hasselbank said where he had to put it, there was another matter of putting it there.
I think that's right. You can see the young lad actually indicate come short. The Hasselbank, he thought, why come short? I've got all this grass in front of me. Are you good enough to play it in there? He was.
Liam Brady.
I'll tell you, it's a pass that Liam Brady would have been proud of.
Yes. Liam these days helping the development of the young players at Arsenal, and it was Arsenal who were put out of this year's Youth Cup recently by Leeds United. McPhail at 18 is still eligible for the youth team this season. Free kick to Leeds. Maybe they haven't finished yet.
Even things like that, you know, Larsson's obviously disappointed. 5 goals have gone in. He's been left stranded, struggling many times today in the wake of good running and good movement. Tough day for the Derby defenders.
Kelly leaving it to Hart this time. Stimac's got to it, although rather knocked it tamely down. Larson helped it on. Now comes Martin, facing the play, able to take charge. But not a pass quite of McPhail dimensions.
It's not his fault he didn't have a run on.
Molinar, Hasselbank. Haaland wanted to take it on. And he's doing just that with Burton tugging at him. Still Haaland, Bowyer going in, and good tracking that time by Carsley.
Important tracking as well, so too little too late, but something that didn't happen often enough, or hasn't happened often enough for Derby.
The horse has bolted.
Correct. Bolted, it's out of sight. It's in another country, that horse, I'll tell you. Swung the channel.
Well, in terms of attempts at goal, not too much between the two sides. But it's quality, not quantity, that we're talking about today. It's a fantastic ratio, 5 goals from 7 shots on target. And Jimmy Boyd Hasselbank, who has at times been singled out as an individual player this season with an individual style, has certainly done his bit for the collective cause, and as Andy said quite rightly, deserved to get something from it with a personal goal. Cut forward by Heaton, and this is Punahalla with 2 to take on. The support, as you'd expect, is coming from a deeper position with Haaland. Kelly with a quick cross. Wanchop just having a look round to see whether he could settle on the ball. Able to find Baiano. Put it out by Molinar. Carsley unable to halt fairly. The acceleration from Bowyer. Hasselbank setting off again. Larson goes with him. We're into the final 10 minutes and Derby will just want to get this over with. It's been such a painful experience for them at Pride Park, where they've had so much pleasure in their first campaign in this new stadium. And now Wanchop, no flag. Wanchop against Martin. Oh, he looked to set up the goal for Baiano, and Baiano was expecting the Costa Rican to score it himself, and they don't get a goal.
I'm not so sure what he was trying to do, I have to say, Mark. I think it's happening this side here, and again it's somebody the opposite, and again it's criminal defending. I think he just miscontrolled that, you know. I don't think that was a pass. I think it just kind of bobbled up, hit him in the shin, and they just lost control of it.
Rory Delap, the recent signing from Carlisle, has come on for Jakob Lausen. Baiano. What a clever header that was by Gunnahala. To say that the majority of the Derby fans are right behind their team in this very awkward situation, recognising what the players have done for them this season. But this is a one-off summer going, and you would expect that for the vast majority, staying through the thin time today. They've had some very enjoyable experiences. Not just the results, but the way Derby have played this season. It just hasn't been their day today. It's been very much the day of Leeds United, and behind the players, the thought that George Graham put into his planning for this match. How easy it would have been to say, well, we've just beaten Blackburn 4-0 at home, we'll send the same 11 out again. Nobody would have questioned that, really.
No one would have had an argument about that.
Down. Man of the match. Again, your decision. 0891 11 1101.
That's a toughie.
And George Graham still going to his players in this opportunity. He's not totally satisfied yet. I wonder what his feelings were yesterday with Arsenal getting back into the title race at club. There's no secret that he still has huge affection for after so much of his life was spent as player and as manager at Highbury.
George just getting carried away, Mark. We might read the fourth official telling him, hey George, you're in the wrong technical area, you need to go over there.
Here's Burt. One shot. Well, another little surge from the home side, but it ends in frustration again. Hunt. Carsley. Delap. And now Baiano. Pride wounded at Pride Park. Leeds had left Hasselbank upfield. Derby have had Chris Powell come back and Steamach has stayed back. Everything else in the penalty area at the corner. Burton, that could have been seen as handball, and well, it was a diving block by Gary Kelly.
Great defending.
Great attitude when you've got a 5-goal cushion.
Well, defenders take pride in clean sheets, you know, and that's what it's all about for them now. It means as much to them as it does to the front end and midfield players scoring 5. Nigel Martin will be keen to get back on or keep the old clean sheet trail going.
Charsley. Delap. Another block. And Martin might not have seen the shot.
Really again.
Gary Kelly yet again. Powell. Should be Martin's. Only just.
Only just, you're right. He didn't take it at the highest point, did he? He was allowing it to drop. The one chop almost got a touch on it.
At Elland Road when they went out of the Cup to Wolves, and there was a huge disappointment. Cork fans saying our season is over, but that was really not a true reflection. Since then, a couple of league matches, a matter of 9 goals scored, none against. George Graham was at a loss to explain why it went wrong against Wolves. I think it's fair to say that Mark McGee and Colin Lee, they got the tactics right on the day, and Leeds couldn't come up with the answers then. But it's been a super strategy for Leeds. And here they are, having scored 3 in the first half, looking for a 3rd in the second half from McPhail's perceptive ball again, looking for Gunnar Haller coming in from the opposite side.
It's been pretty impressive today from Leeds, Martin. It's been a great response to going out of the Cup. George Graham would have been looking for a positive response. My goodness, you couldn't have had a better one. 4 at home, no goals conceded, 5 away. The 2 games after that, it's a fabulous response from his players.
It's a far cry, it seems, from the Leeds side of last season, who couldn't score a goal to save their lives for long periods. Just about scored enough to save their Premiership lives. Radovic. Hasselbank. That's challenged well up the pitch by Ian Hunt. That's surely a foul. It's all pretty academic now. A weekend that saw the Championship opened up again with Arsenal winning at Old Trafford, saw some extraordinary results from the so-called struggling clubs. And here we are with 2 teams so level, it seemed, looking at their record, and now Leeds looking to make a margin here of 6-0. And really, I suppose you should say Alfie Haaland should have just done that.
What a miss.
Well, they were due one, weren't they?
I tell you what, yeah, the quality's been great and the strike rate's been phenomenal. But I think, yeah, the ball played in's an excellent one. He meets it, what, 8 yards, 9 yards out. I think he'll be disappointed, no, honestly, Martin, he hasn't scored.
But he played a part in starting it off, even if it's not going to be given as his goal. He was the player in there making it difficult for Jakob Larsson, and obviously unsettling Mark Palm, who didn't come out and claim the ball. And it's just been Leeds, Leeds, Leeds since then. Haller with the 2nd. Bowyer got the 3rd. Kewell the 4th, Hasselbank the 5th. Goals from all parts of the team. But offside, 1 chop. I think Jim Smith will be pleased to see the back of Leeds United.
Strategy out, Martin, for your midfield players to get in and support the front man. You think Haller scored 1 of them, Bowyer scored 1 of them, Kewell scored 1 of them. well, instigated the first goal. I mean, that's an incredible return. Planned thing, I'm sure George has planned many such one-off occasions, but not all of them have worked to such perfection as this one has.
We've been talking all day long about European qualification as the nub of this contest, really, and obviously there's much more to come in the matches left for both sides. But it's a competition, the UEFA Cup, where you will need flexibility in your approach. You need a manager who's got that sort of sensitivity to strategy, and Leeds have got George Graham, and what a day for him and his players. They've done the double over Derby. They go above Jim Smith's side and join Chelsea and Blackburn on 48 points. They go above Blackburn as well. 3 successive league wins now, enhancing further their European ambitions. But what a win here. A scoreline to shock those who maybe haven't seen the game and will read about it later. These are the second half goals. Derby ripped apart again. Harry Kewell, the scorer, keeping his cool at the end of that sweeping attack, and then Stephen McPhail with that fantastic pass, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank steadied, took aim, 5-0, joining the Lawson own goal, the goals from Haller and Bowyer in the first half. Another dent in Derby's home record, and a pretty deep one, but their players have just got to put it behind them